What's up, everybody? This is Chris, otherwise known as Music City Driver, coming at you from the dreary, foggy Middle Tennessee area. It seems to be a common theme that I seem to be not doing my Money Mondays on Monday, so I'm gonna have to come up with a new name maybe and do it on Tuesdays. It just seems like Mondays are just too busy for me in my day job. I get back to work after the weekend, and it just seems like there's a lot of stuff I got to do, and I just don't have time to make a video for it, so to review the previous week. So even though I don't drive mostly on Monday nights, and I'm probably not going to drive tonight, we'll see. I've got some cleaning on my car to do because it's kind of muddy outside, and I think there's a little bit of mud inside my car, so I have to do some cleaning. But anyway, I digress. Getting back on track here. Last week was pretty darn good for me. I worked my butt off. As you can see here on the screen for Lyft, I drove on the app time anyway. It was 30 hours and 22 minutes. There wasn't really, as far as I know, a whole lot of things going. There was the Opry was going on, and there was a Monster Jam thing and stuff like that at Bridgestone Arena, but there wasn't really a lot of events going on. However, I did notice the bachelorette parties seem to be coming back to Nashville. So some of my rides, many of them were bachelorette parties on Saturday night, especially. Some on Friday night as well. Thursday night was pretty dead. I honestly shouldn't even have driven that night. It was so dead. As you can see down here, Thursday, I had 6 rides on Lyft. I didn't really have many others than that on there. I did like a couple of rides through the week. Just like after work or something, I would grab a ride, take them, you know what I mean? Just on the way home kind of thing. Anyway, excuse me. So as you can see, Friday was my biggest day for Lyft. It was 109.14 is what I made that day. Sunday morning early, I had a couple of rides. And so for the week, I got 277.02 on Lyft. That actually doesn't count the longest ride that I had, which was not really a ride this long. It was a ride, yes, but it was not. It was an hour long, and it was only $8.92. However, I ended up making another $40 cash off of this ride because they felt bad because it was a really, really drama-filled situation where a couple I had picked them up. Actually, it wasn't even a couple; they were friends. 2 ladies, I picked them up, and one of the ladies had gotten locked out of her house and didn't know where her keys were, so we ended up going over to an ex-girlfriend's house of hers, and then drama ensued because the ex-girlfriend got mad, threw the keys in the backyard. I helped them look for the keys for a good long time. It was really, really freaking cold that night too, so it was kind of I felt bad that they were locked out of their house. And I know a lot of drivers would have said, "Oh, just forget about it. I'm just going to end the ride." I know many people in the Nashville area probably would have done that. I did miss out on a lot of rides doing that. I was going for an Uber Quest, which I ended up getting anyway. I'll go into that in a second. But I just felt really bad about the whole situation. So I helped them look there, and then we ended up going back to her house, and one of her friends came up, and she used a Kroger gift card to pop the lock on the door. I don't know how to do that, so she did. So luckily enough, they got inside. And like I said, the lady who was with her felt really bad, so she paid me She gave me $40 in cash. She's like, "Here, you didn't have to stay around for that. I really appreciated that you did, and that we didn't have to stay out in the cold to wait for either her friend or the locksmith, which they had called, to come and let us in the house because it was freezing cold." So some good deeds are rewarded. So like I said, this doesn't take into account that $40. So there's $40 there, and I received another $22 in tips, I believe, over those 2 days. I honestly didn't keep track over the 2 days how many cash tips I had. I just ended up with like a lot of cash in my wallet. I think I had $50 roughly in cash tips over the weekend, so that was pretty cool. As you can see here, there's $26.04 in bonuses. That was because of power zones, and I got $24 in tips on the app on 29 rides. That's not too bad. far as Uber goes, Uber was the one I really did the best on. As I said, I did have a Quest. So my total earnings for last week were $549.95. As you can see, $456.95 was trip earnings, $34 in tips on the app, which is not too shabby. I did a total of, how many rides did I do? 53 trips over the week. So like I did with Lyft, I did a couple of trips on Monday and Wednesday. Thursday I only had 11 trips, so I had 21 trips actually on Thursday between Lyft and Uber combined, which is not horrible, but it's a lot slower than it normally is. But as you can see, I had 18 trips on Friday, 18 trips on Saturday, and then another 2 trips early in the morning on Sunday morning. I got tips on all those, as you can see by the little green check marks there. But a total of $549.95. The tips of $34. The promotions is $59. I do send in my pay statements usually to get an extra $15 a week. For Uber, they send me a text just about every week asking me what I earned on another platforms that I used, and I do that. It's no skin off my back. They're just trying to do some market research, so I get $15. So, and I had a Quest for $44. It was complete 35 rides and get $44 extra. It's not really an awesome guarantee, but I didn't ignore Lyft in the process is the thing. I kept the Lyft app on, and Lyft was just super slow for me this week. I don't know if there's just too many drivers or what. There really wasn't a whole lot of surge on or prime time on Lyft, and every time I went into an area that I thought might be Lyft heavy, like East Nashville, the Nations, stuff like that, I'd never really got any Lyft rides. I got Uber rides, so it's kind of weird. Most of mine were XLs. In fact, the majority of them were XLs, but I had X on as well, and I took several X rides just so I can get my ride count up. I did have one bad passenger, a VIP, who was a total jerk. I misread the address on Church Street, which it's downtown on Church Street. It's really easy to miss an address because it's hard to see numbers and stuff like that. So if you actually misjudge the distance on your GPS, for some reason, I read his address and read it as another building that I knew on Church Street. So I wasn't going very fast. I was going like 20 miles an hour because it's downtown. And this guy just starts really just screaming and cussing at me, saying, "Stop, fucking stop." Excuse my language, but that's about what he said. Just like screamed at the top of his lungs. I just looked at him like he had 3 heads because I hate that kind of shit. And I said, "You don't have to be a dick about it," and dropped him off. I gave him 1 star. He might have given me 1 star as well, but I reported it to Uber and asked them never to pair me with him again. And as a result of that, I'm not going to take any more VIP rides. I have not, as a rule, I usually don't take VIP rides. I have a really high rating, and that's why I get the VIPs, but they're really not worth it. Most of the time, the passengers are not rated very well, and they're jerks, and they feel like they're entitled to treat you like crap because they're VIPs. And they never tip. It's usually really short rides. This was a short ride. It was from Menages, which is a swingers club, to downtown, which was it was a $3 ride. So, every single time I take a VIP ride, it's a short little $3 ride. They never tip, and they usually are jerks, just being honest. So anyway, did $549.95 on there. It was a really good weekend for me. I didn't really have anybody that almost threw up, or didn't really have any really super bad rides. Didn't have anybody pass out on me or anything like that. Like I said, the craziest rides I had were that one that took like an hour to get done with because they lost their keys and stuff, and I helped them out, but I got compensated for that quite handsomely, actually. So that didn't really take away from anything for me. So as you can see, with $549.95 and $277.02, I did pretty darn good. Now keep in mind, once again, I always try to remind people of this, that I do run Plus and XL and Select for Uber. So keep that in mind when you're looking at my numbers that I did for the week, because that does play a big role in how much I earn. So if you were taking only X rides and only classic or regular Lyft rides, you probably are not going to make as much as I did. So keep that in mind. So if you add the 40, and then I had another $22 in tips cash, plus the $549.95 plus the $277, plus $277.02. I did $888.97 for the week for Uber and Lyft combined. And there may be a couple of cash tips that I forgot there. I was getting $5 bills left and right on those couple days, so I made really well on cash tips, and then I got quite a few tips in the app. So it didn't really seem like there was a particular part of town that I was most busy in. I was all over the place. All over the place downtown. I was in North Nashville, I was in Germantown, I was in East Nashville, I don't really think I've really been to South Nashville very much. West Nashville is always hot for me. I didn't really have many rides to Brentwood or Franklin this time, which is interesting, but anyway, I just had a really good week. So let me know in the comments below if things are starting to pick up for you guys. A lot of the people that I have on a Facebook group were saying that it was really slow for them. They made like $40 and $70 on Friday night, and I didn't say anything because I felt kind of bad, because I honestly don't know what I was doing differently. And some of the people that were saying this did XL as well, so I think I was just in the right place at the right time, and that's how this ends up being a lot. I didn't really have a specific strategy most of the time. I was just taking a ride, and wherever that ride took me, sometimes I had a stacked ride, and that took me somewhere else. I had a stacked ride, or I would get a Lyft request after I dropped off an Uber. I mean, it just happened to be that I was just in the right place at the right time most of the time. So I like to think I have maybe some instincts now that about where to go. I just kind of end up driving there, rather than, I don't chase surge or anything like that. Because usually by the time you get there, it's already over, and surge doesn't really truly mean that people are requesting rides, as you guys may or may not know. All it means is that people are looking at the app. It means that they're looking, possibly going to order a ride, but they haven't yet ordered a ride. So that's all that really tells you, is that there's a bunch of people looking at the app for a ride, and there's not enough drivers in the immediate area. That's all that the surge is doing, and it's trying to draw people there. It's a driver redistribution center, or system, I guess, as you could say. So anyway, guys, that is it for the week. This was probably a pretty long video. How long was it? Anyway, doesn't really matter, but about 12 minutes long, not too bad. So I appreciate if you guys would like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I might do another video later in the week. I don't know. It really depends on what I think of in the meantime. So hope you guys have a great day. If you're out driving, please be careful. And if you're looking to drive for Lyft, they have some really good bonuses going on right now. Lyft has bonuses, not guarantees. Uber has guarantees. So I don't really recommend Uber as much, just simply because most of the people earn more than the guarantee, and they really get nothing out of those. But with Lyft, even if you don't complete all the rides that they talk about completing, which in the case in Nashville is $850. I think it's like over 120 rides. It's like $6 and something extra each ride for the person who uses the code and for the referral. So it's a pretty good deal in my opinion. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. You guys, if you're out driving, be safe and have a great day.